How's it going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Quiz Trades. Happy Monday. I hope y'all had a good weekend. Unfortunately, my face cam is not working, so today's just gonna be a faceless trade recap. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. Because honestly, if you had watched my last trade recap, you would have seen that the trade that I took last week, or the main trade for last week, was Thursday, right? We had the entire model play out. We had a previous day high sweep. We were in a daily bearish order block, and then we had our monthly low as our main target for the month right down here. And in the last trade recap, I'm pretty sure it was on Friday that I did the recap, so we were around here. And I did say now I expect price to flush, and that's kind of exactly what happened. We had some more news, and then we opened up and swept that previous month low, opened up like 500 points lower. So we took out that previous month low right here. So that was basically our main model going into the week. So we had that previous month low sweep. So from then I was kind of hesitant to take trades, not necessarily hesitant, but more like trading in a discretionary type of way. Um, Trump did then later in that day on Monday say like, oh, the war is gonna be over, which kind of caused us to pump an extra 500 points. So we ended up getting this 4 hour change in state to the upside once we closed through this order block right here, this up move before the down move to sweep that previous month low. So seeing that, I knew we were going to come for Friday high, and that's kind of what I wanted to base my trade off of. Right there. So I knew we were going to take out Friday high, so I actually took a short off of Friday high going into market open. Right there. So this candle right here had already swept Friday high, and then we were already starting to have rejection. So I had taken a short. I had short limits right off this 1 hour and then equilibrium. So I had short limits right here. It did end up getting stopped out. We did end up, kind of just turtle souping that initial liquidity sweep and then chopping. So like price was kind of choppy. As you can see, we were stuck within this whole range for, let's see, from basically Tuesday and Wednesday. So I did end up getting stopped out. And then Thursday, Friday, price ended up dumping down to this 4 hour gap, down past equilibrium. That was the only trade I took last week. But then that kind of set me up for this week. So unfortunately, I did get edged on the entry. So the entry, I'll just go over today's trade recap as well because it was kind of setting me up for how I want this week to play out. But basically, I wanted this wick of the monthly sweep to be our rejection block. So I had limits set at equilibrium of this wick, or sorry, of this rejection block. We ended up edging that by like 16 to 18 points around that area. Because what I wanted to happen was we had that previous day low sweep of sweeping Friday low. And because we're trading off of this monthly sweep, and we didn't get any week high sweeps here. We got like our daily high. Yeah, I wanted us to then, this was basically our displacement leg to the upside. I wanted this to act more as a rebalance leg. So I had I had our standard deviation marked out. As you can see, we pulled into standard deviation. We had this 4 hour bullish gap. We had this rejection block, and then we were in OTE of this entire dealing range right here. So this entire February, March dealing range, we pulled past OTE, and I had this last level marked out here that lined up nicely with the rejection block. So that's where I had my limit set for today. It did end up getting edged very so slightly, but now how I'm going to structure that going into for this week, right? Because now we held this and we had displacement to the upside and we swept Friday high. Yes, I could have taken shorts off of Friday high, which is something I was going to do. I was going to limit Friday high to take shorts off of, but I think I just want to take one trade on my live this week. So I'm going to focus that to be Wednesday because we have FOMC Wednesday. So I'm going to see how Tuesday plays out because we are getting this 4 hour change in state here, which does technically function us to go for Monday low. But in my opinion, just move this real quick. my opinion, how I want this week to play out is I want I want Tuesday to place a low somewhere within this 4 hour order block right here, as well as within equilibrium of this entire like previous week range. Um, it lines up nicely with 0.382 and with OTE lines up nicely with Monday low. What I also saw in one of my boys called out was ES has no bottom wick. So what we could see here is a nice SMT down here on Tuesday, or what we could see is Tuesday places a low within this area, and then Wednesday comes down and takes out Tuesday low and maybe SMTs with Monday low. So ES takes out Monday low, NQ does not, and then from there we come up to these relative equal highs, these weak highs right here. And then that'll set us up pretty nicely for next month, right? So we kind of pump back up here. We take out these weak highs. The final week of March is kind of choppy. And then going into April, or even like we could, reject off of it in the final week of March and start creating bear structure. And then going into April, we kind of wick back into a bearish PD array that we create off of this weekly high sweep. And then April continues to flush. So nothing too crazy. Last week was kind of slow. Only took one trade. Did end up getting stopped on it. Monday would have been the day to take TP. And then Tuesday would have been a day to short, hold that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Monday longs. Monday hold it up until we take out these relative equal highs. And then from there look for more shorts. But I didn't get filled on these longs, so I'm gonna be looking for one more trade this week. I also am probably gonna be start trading fundeds. I'll probably take more trades day in and day out, just cause honestly. But yeah, pretty simple trade recap. Nothing too crazy. I feel like the past the past like 4 weeks has not been the best price action. As you can see, most of the days are just going sideways or stuck in a range, followed by one or two like main expansion days. It's like February, excluding this first move of February that gave us our change in state. Since then, it's been like chop, 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 one move, chop, 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 one move, chop, chop, or like one move, and then chop, 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 one move, chop, 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 one move. Like it's just not been the best price action. So I'm expecting tomorrow to be kind of slow price action. Pull, leave a low somewhere here Wednesday to turtle soup that low, form an SMT. All right, so what I'd want is like an SMT on Wednesday. We take out Tuesday previous day low, and then for Wednesday to expand up to here, and then Thursday up here, Friday up here, and then something like Monday, next Monday, taking out those highs, creating a bearish PD array, and then April to set a week high somewhere within this range, like somewhere back up in equilibrium around here, and then for us to flush again, and then probably just go back to that choppy price action. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys are, gaining some type of understanding from these videos. And yeah, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.